The Earth is round! And here's the proof. Our planet isn't flat. It can't be. And yet, the myth that Earth is not a sphere, but rather a flattened disk, has made a comeback. The idea that our world is a sphere has been widely accepted and believed since it was first theorized in the 6th century BCE. And that's a theory that was confirmed a few centuries later. So we've basically known the world was round for about 2,400 years. As far as we know, the idea of a spherical Earth was originally presented by Pythagoras. It's unclear whether he had evidence or if he proposed a spherical Earth more out of aesthetic symmetry, but his theory soon gathered proof. So, either Pythagoras or his students realized that ships do not simply appear as tiny little specks at the edge of the horizon as they sail towards port. In fact, they seem to emerge from the water, mast first, followed by the lower portions of the vessel. Because boats obviously don't work that way, these observations are only possible if the viewer's field of vision is flat while the sea is rounding down. 2 centuries later, Pythagoras' ideas were reconfirmed by Aristotle. As he noted in his book On the Heavens, again, our observations of the stars make it evident not only that the Earth is circular, but also that it is a circle of no great size, for quite a small change of position to south or north causes manifest alteration of the horizon. He's basically saying that not only is the world a globe, it's also not that big, which we can actually see for ourselves. Because if you move a few hundred miles north or south, you'll begin to notice new constellations in the sky. Aristotle also noted that during an eclipse, the leading edge of the Earth's shadow across the moon is always curved, no matter where the moon is positioned in the sky. And the only shape that always casts a round shadow is a sphere. All of these theories still hold true today, but if you're still not convinced, consider the most obvious way we can tell the Earth is round. Pictures! Literally tens of thousands of pictures of the Earth have been taken from space. Every single one of them depicts a round Earth. If Earth were flat, all the world's land masses would nearly always be visible, and you would never see a horizon. Skeptics often say, "Those images are doctored," to which we say, "Really? Who has the time? And what is their motivation?" Besides, there are plenty of other ways to tell the world isn't flat, most of which you can see for yourself. Consider this. Time zones exist. The only way it can simultaneously be midday in one part of the world, 6 p.m. in another, and midnight somewhere else is if the Earth is a globe, rotating on its axis. Also, with a little help from a telescope, you can see that all the other planets in the solar system are spherical. While that does not directly show that Earth is also round, it certainly implies it, because in order for Earth to be flat, our rules of physics would have to be drastically different from how they apply to the other planets in the solar system. And they are not. This is Mars, but it's only part of Mars. If we watched for a while through a telescope, we would be able to see it spin. More of its features would creep into view while others faded out, because it's a sphere. Let's consider physics for a moment. We all, hopefully, accept that the force of gravity both acts on all objects with mass and is exerted by all objects with mass. Given that truth, if Earth were a disk, we would all be pulled towards its center of mass, which would lie at the center point of the disk. But we live on a sphere, so gravity pulls us down towards the center of the planet's mass, which is inside the globe, because it's a sphere. We don't go flying sideways. We stand firmly on the ground. One way you can see the curvature of the Earth yourself is to get up really high, like, for instance, in an airplane. The retired Concorde was a supersonic jet that flew transatlantic until about 15 years ago. It had the best view of Earth's curve, but you can still see it on long, high flights. Also, remember Felix Baumgartner? He jumped from the edge of space a few years back to perform the highest parachute jump ever. Well, that was on a live feed in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and you can clearly see the Earth's curvature. So yes, there is tons of proof that Earth is a sphere. And we genuinely hope our brief examination of it was convincing enough. If not, you might want to examine your biases. And a science book. Or 3.